Hello everyone and welcome to the decks of the weekend, my weekly video where I go over the decks that caught my attention the most in three formats I choose for the weekend. Let's begin as always with Modern. We got a lot of cool new decks in Modern. The best, the most fun, and the most eye-catching is for sure this Mono Blue Tamashi that streamer Doomwake won the challenge with on Saturday, and this is a deck that I've never seen before, and that's very rare for me. So if you remember, a few weeks ago, I showed you a mono blue with selective memory Thassa's Oracle. This deck took out that part and added a new combo, which is Tamashi, Reality Architect. Now, you do a lot of mana with Tamashi plus Lotus Bloom, and you also have Wheel of Invention to get the Lotus Bloom around. And with Tamashi, you can pay away, return a land you control, and reanimate the Lotus Bloom. So you get a lot of mana. And then with that lot of mana, what do you do? Well, you have a lot of spells. You have 0 lands in the deck, so even your land can be something like Sigil Restoration, which is very powerful if you are going off with mana. You have Waterlogged Teachings, which can get Sigil Restoration. You have a Rush of Inspiration, which draws 2 cards, and, well, that's it. Suppression Ray is not very good to cast. So, overall, Tamashi will just do that, but most importantly, you have Belcher. This is your combo kill. You kill your opponent because you have no lands in your deck. So this is a deck that I'm going to stream with tomorrow on my twitch.tv/Mengucci. It'll be out on YouTube channel in the following days. And it is something very interesting, something that, again, I haven't seen around. So I'm very surprised to see more Upsol Spells type of decks. I've also seen a mono white one around, and again, the Thassa's Oracle Selective Memory, definitely check that video out because it went very well. Another deck that went very well that I've streamed with, and it'll be out on the channel soon, is Affinity. Affinity top 8 of the challenge. I'll definitely title that video Affinity's Back because, well, we went very well. Played 2 leagues this morning because I was very much in love with the archetype, made some changes, but I guess this is my second version. This is slightly different version, top 8 of the challenge, but it was good. It was definitely a good strategy, a good archetype, and I will definitely put this video out. I mean, there was a time where like Simulacrum Synthesizer and Kozilek's Unsealings were like big deal, but those cards are kind of gone now. You have Emery, which has been fantastic, especially with the Dumping Sphere in the side. And Portable Hole, also very important because I've played against Infinite Energy. My first league I played against 3 Energy, my second league I played against 2 Energy, and overall we went well. We went overall 4-1 against those, so that's not bad at all. The Urza Saga, as always, is the most important part of the deck. That's how you win most of your games, especially against the energy decks. And yeah, that's it. This is definitely the cheapest deck in Modern that you can win with. I don't think you can go lower than this, given of like, I don't know, maybe you can cut like Sun Cleanser for something else, but definitely don't cut Saga. If you don't have Saga, just don't play, because this deck is so important. Just most of your games, there's gonna be just Saga, just run away with the game by itself, and you just, basically everything else you cast is irrelevant, and especially with the like Soga Lantern, like I beat Gabriel Nassif playing Goryo, just with like a turn 1 Saga with Springleaf Drum, then you go like turn 2, top there, make Construct, get Lantern, just win that way. So super important Saga. I'm very glad that Affinity is back, and that's definitely something that I'm excited to show you this week on my YouTube channel. Let's go over Duel Commander. This is of course the format I'll play in Toulouse at the end of October, and it's a format that a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, won the challenge with on Saturday. So yeah, he's playing Tamiyo, and this is gonna be just a trend of just Tamiyo winning. Tamiyo has it all. Tamiyo belongs to the best color of the format, best color of Magic. The swing of drawing Force of Food and Subtlety on their commander is insane. I guess unless you're playing the mirror match. But if your opponent plays something like Slimefoot and Squee, or anything that costs a little bit more than 1 mana, which is how normal Magic gets played, the swing that you do is insane. You also have Bades or Wash Away, like just getting to interact on the stack with for free basically, because you get your cards back with Tamio is huge. And this is definitely, I'm gonna say it, this is the best deck in the format. The Mana Trader series was won by this deck. The Swiss of the Mana Trader series was won by this deck. And so there was only one challenge that fired. I don't know if you saw a little bit of that. Magical Line heavily cut the prices of the challenges, because well, they put out a lot of challenges, and a lot of these challenges were running on like very low people, which meant that they weren't profiting from them, so they kind of changed the prices, and that meant that 3 of the 4 challenges of Duel Commander didn't fire. Now, not sure how much that means, because people don't know the format, people don't want to play the format, and blah blah blah. But that being said, this was the only challenge that fired, and again, my fan Sambuco won it, going 4-2 in Swiss and 3-0 in the top 8. He was playing a bunch of questionable card like Nadu and Tarmogoyf and Veil of Summer. Veil of Summer very much showing that the power of the format is all about blue and black. I don't know about that much about black. I definitely saw him beating Lazav in the semis, and he played against Limefoot both in top 8 and in final. So Veil of Summer definitely has a lot of targets there. Although obviously there are the mono red deck, the mono white deck, Yoshimaru, Feldon, and Phalia. These decks maybe are favorite against Tamio, but they're very unfavorite against Slimefoot and Squee, which is probably the most balanced of the format. But honestly, if I had to play Duel Commander, this would be my deck right now. Tamio, maybe Aragorn, but definitely can't really go wrong with a busted 1-mana card of the best color by a pretty wide margin. So this is where this is what I am on right now. Oh, another card I haven't mentioned, Wildness Reclamation. Now this card is extremely strong. You might have forgotten how this card is, because this card is banned in Pioneer, has been banned in Standard, not that good in Modern because it costs 4, but in this format, which is a little bit slower than Modern, you can actually just like play this out on turn 4, use your opponent mana, use mana in your opponent's turn to interact, and then from there on you can just corrupt the clues and then use your opponent mana. Of course, you can float mana end of turn, untap your lands, and have a lot of things available to you. Also, another thing that this deck has that kind of cheats the rules of a Duel Commander. Moveset Prototype is busted. Normally, this format, every mana ramp is banned, every mana rock is banned. Moveset Prototype in this deck is a 1-mana Mox. Because you have like clues forever with Tamio, and like tapping the clue doesn't even mean that you can't crack them. So Moveset Prototype, actually like going turn 1 Tamio, turn 2 Moveset Prototype, lose focus or mana leak or whatever, and then from there on you have just like this extra land that you extra mana rock that you produced, is something that gives Tamio even more power. Yeah, okay, let's move on to the last format. It's gonna be Pauper, because a very strange version of Elves won the challenge, and this is I'll stream with this soon. I'll be out on my channel, because this is not the normal Elves deck you've seen. This plays Nyxborn Hydra. Now, what is this? Obviously, this isn't an elf, but it is a creature. It's both a thing that gives your deck redundancy, because you can bestow it onto an elf. So you turn an elf into a huge threat, your opponent has to kill that, and then the Nyxborn Hydra comes down. It gives trample, so you can just one-shot with Priest of Titania and Queer Ranger. You make loads of mana. It's like an additional Timberwatch elf. You just load on a creature for an attack, and attack twice and you win. And it has reach. So if you're against Mono Blue Delver, sometimes the problem is that you don't actually have flyer, so the Mono Blue Delver can do something unfair, and you just do that. You only have one lead, the Stampede, which has always been, I've always seen it like the best card by far. Only 1, and 4 main deck Masked Vandal. So again, this list is very strange. You even play 4 copies of the Initiative, 2 in the main, 2 in the side. Only 13 lands, but yeah, so this is interesting. So you have Hallow. This is the anti-breath weapon card. Unfortunately, this card does not work against Clarkland Shaman, because of course they can just respond. So, it's not great. I think, because it's like all different instances of 1 damage. I don't think you can prevent all damage the target spell would deal. Oh yeah, it's also spell, not even source. So yeah, it's just, this is exactly only for the the breath weapon. And actually you're gaining a ton of life, because like let's say you have 6 creatures in play, you would gain 12. I think. You have Collision Honor Guard against the Glee deck. You have Full Mesmeric Fiend and a couple of Essence Ward. Funnily enough, the rest of this top 8 is like 4 Glee, so this deck definitely beat Glee. I don't know if I would go ahead and say that it's a good match because they have no remorse for main deck, but this deck beat Glee, and that is something worth noting. And that's gonna be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay tuned on this YouTube channel to find a lot more content. And thank you for listening, and have a great rest of your week.